recording? Oh, where'd everybody go? Oh,
Yeah, it did
yeah, I
ask me
think
to
y'all have.
it asked me to
Well,
agree, and I said yes.
that's new. Okay. Huh. Okay, so if everybody would please agree to be included. I don't, and it mutes you. Gosh, that is different. Okay. All right, so John and Leroy, can y'all agree to be recorded so we can, I've never had to ask me that. I wonder why. Well, okay, and it says it's recording, so I don't know. I guess what it does is it must record, but it doesn't show you or hear you until you agree. So hopefully they will agree and come back. So Vivek, anything in particular? Otherwise, I just kind of talk about things I've seen.
Um, well, no, I mean, I'm sure you're going to mention it. I think the only question I had, which it seems a lot of people had, was about the kind of the APA formatting
Mm-hmm.
and I
Mm-hmm.
know in the first week you kind of gave us annotated feedback, and that was really useful and helpful. Unfortunately, I still haven't managed to nail the all the different things that I needed to, and I wasn't quite sure what because you had said you're not going to tell us every week specific all the specifics of what we didn't quite do. So I thought I'd drop in, and then you maybe still can't give me the specifics, but I'm curious to maybe know what is it generally that people are still not quite getting right.
It is almost across the board line spacing. So let me see if I can share my screen. And yeah, I actually usually annotate the first two papers, but there's, I mean, I've just got too much. There are 34 of you or whatever. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not sure what y'all are going to see. Okay, so you should see just a Word document. I'm going to open a new Word document. Okay, so tell me if you see a blank Word document. Everybody see a blank Word document? What are you seeing right now? Okay, what I'm looking for is, so Vivek, you're on mute. I'm just wondering,
No,
are
I
y'all
can see a
are
Word
y'all
document
seeing?
with text on it.
You do. Okay. Okay. I chose screen. Okay. I'm trying to get a blank piece of paper. See, and this share thing also changed for me. So let's just do an entire screen. Okay. Screen. We're going to do main screen, and we'll pull up the Word document here. Okay. Okay. So what you should be seeing now is a blank Word document. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I can't see y'all anymore, so just, okay. All right, so without fail, line spacing. So to fix that, you go into paragraph. See, mine is already set up. What generally comes up in Word is this, or it might say, I don't know, 0, whatever it says. And so your lines, when you type, there's two, and I'm, okay, so, you know, all right, so here, when you change that to what Word defaults to, you get this, can y'all see this typing on here, Dragon Story? You need to decide how the kids will.
Yeah, I see
What
that.
do you see? Okay, so you see how it inched this extra spacing? And that is not correct. So everyone who did that, I said, open paragraph, before and after should be 0, 0, and then double. Don't worry about any of this up here. I need it for what it is, but but this is the big piece, is right in here. And then you say, okay, and then you see how everything's spaced. This is a purposeful double space. In APA, you don't, the only place you're going to double space is on the title page. And what I am going to do is just pull up somebody's paper because that's just the easiest way. I don't know. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Seda. Okay, so the only place that you're going to double space is right here. Okay, and then so this is off. So see how it says auto? We don't want that. We want 0, 0. And then it'll fix all those spaces for the rest of the paper. So see how that corrected it? This is too much. So that is basically without fail what 90% of people are doing, because that's what Word defaults. The other thing is this right here, Department of Education, and then comma, University people. Now, the reason I'm such a stickler, somebody emailed and said, I can't read this lesson planning. Okay, do you see me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, proceed.
So I can't read this. It's the one about lesson planning because the grammar's so bad. Yes, that is a point I'm making, is when a researcher reads a paper that's, well, number one, it won't get published. Like that, and when you send in anything to be published, they don't tell you why it's not getting published. They just say, you know, and it has to be correct formatting for APA. Like they don't fix it. So however this one guy got published, whatever, but the grammar's off and the formatting's off and it's hard to read. So I stress APA formatting. Am I taking off 20 points? No, I'm taking off 3 points because obviously the content is more important. But the APA formatting says something about the conscientiousness, to me. So I am happy to sit on here. I'm going to meet with someone Monday and we're going to go through her paper because she's like, she didn't, some of the comments she didn't agree or she didn't understand either, but APA formatting, I mean, I'm fine to spend this entire meeting going through APA formatting because once you learn it, it's no big deal. And now everything is right. So if you want to see more of that, but it's generally the line spacing, the title page, and then in APA, so this title, okay, we're gonna put it right here on that very first line. We go all the way back to the margin center. Oops. Okay, and so we rewrite the title. So that's just another rule. So, you know, I recommend people go to APA style and take a look at, oh, okay. Well, take a look at the sample pages. Y'all, I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening. Just saw it come up. There we go. So you can go to APA style, take a look at sample papers. Okay, student paper, because that's yours. Professional papers are formatted slightly differently. One of those things is the running head, which y'all don't have. So you can take a look at the student paper and just match it up as far as, you know, formatting. So there's that title page. Notice the double space. Everything is just regular. So it's double space. Here's the title, indenting. how we cite, where the page numbers are, headings. So it's all crucial because the content is challenging enough that we just want the formatting to be unnoticeable, just in the background. But if somebody's having to go, wait, why would this section be here? Because that's another thing. In a study, it is always the same format, and you'll get that format in the capstone. But right now, that's why I say use the headings that are given to you because it's a guide for you. So when you get to your capstone and you're given a template, use that template. And this is kind of the same thing that, yeah, you see that lion cut with his big fluffy tail. But anyway, so, you know, I'm not taking off that many points. The most points I've taken off are 3, and that's like, you didn't do a very good job. So is this helpful at all? I know I'm kind of all over the place because I didn't think very well, didn't strategize. So what can I help?
Yeah, no, I think it is helpful. To be honest, I wasn't really aware that maybe we could meet separately, which is why I decided to attend this. I think personally, it would probably be more helpful to go through mine, like everyone else. I
For
think
sure.
everyone has slightly different individual cases. I'm thinking back to mine and I'm thinking, did I do the double spacing right? Did I do the heading right? And I'm not 100% sure. I mean, this is still really useful, directing us to the website and so on. I think eventually I probably still need to
Sure.
sit down
Well,
with you or anyone else and just go line by line.
yeah, because you don't know, you know, and I realize that when I go look at APA styles, that's like go looking up in the dictionary. I don't know how to spell it. Well, look it up. So I do realize that, and I mean, always happy to meet. Even when I'm teaching, I'll work in a schedule. So we can do that. You can get back from vacation if you want, or just check those two things. The spacing, the title page, and then again, indenting. There are a lot of people this term not indenting. The thing about, and the other thing I get from students is, I've never heard this before. I've always done, done APA formatting correctly. No, you haven't. You just haven't heard back. Because when a student grades, like y'all, I think you started when we were still doing peer graded assignments. You didn't know what should go in should go there any more than the writer, so that's why I got in the habit of I always graded papers alongside the peers, and then I could go in and go, yeah, that wasn't fair, or this isn't right, and you counted it right. So I get a lot of feedback. I've never been told yeah, I'm sure that's true. It doesn't mean you're not a good writer. It just means you didn't get that feedback. And, some of that is all of us instructors are volunteers. So I just happen to have more time available because I don't have, I have a bunch of those little things, but, I have a lot of time on my hands. So I can devote more time to that intricate, detailed feedback. It doesn't mean those other instructors are wrong or lazy. It just means they have other things going on, and detailed feedback on APA is not my job or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's why people have never heard. I've been on my 8th class and nobody's ever told me this. And that's probably true, and that's okay, but I'm telling you now, so no worries. And the only reason I take off points is to get people's attention. So, that's the deal with that. So yeah, I'm always happy to meet with anybody one-on-one. I can generally work it out, to your time zone. I don't want you doing that on vacation. I don't want you worrying about your formatting on vacation. You have other things. Although I do, yeah. No, you know what? You didn't invite me along. So yeah, work hard. No, okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Yes. To be honest with you, I've this is my 10th class now, and I haven't had any feedback that's focused on APA that's so detailed as what you've just done with my first paper. So
Yeah, so when I was, the thing about undergrad, which that's what y'all have had, is you don't write in undergrad. You learn, here's how you teach reading, and there's no writing involved in that. There might be a little bit of research, but they're going to hand it to you and say, read this. So when I worked on my master's, I'm going to be honest, I think everything was handwritten. I can remember handwriting my tests because that was, 2002. And I don't even remember having a computer in the library. So we hand wrote, but I don't remember anybody saying, oh, you're supposed to indent. But I knew, even back then I knew rules about writing. But when I got to my doctorate, I never got any feedback either. We had to take 10 courses and then you start your dissertation process. And I get to my dissertation and one of my committee members was like, I'm not reading any more of this until you correct these APA errors. And I was like, what? APA? So I said, when I start teaching here, I am never going to do that to somebody. I'm going to help you because again, once you learn the rule of, okay, a blog is italicized, but a journal's not, or whatever. Once you get it, you get it. And it's not that big a deal. And so I didn't want anybody. I look back on my dissertation. Oh, I can't believe because they didn't catch all my mistakes. And so I see them like, oh gosh, that's out there in the world. People looking at my commas. So that's why I'm such a stickler. And then this assignment was challenging, I think, because what y'all are in the habit of, I think, is you read the readings and you write a paper about the readings. But in this case, this assignment for week 3 was what research are you applying? What's stood out to you? What has impacted you? And you wrote about the course readings. And my point is, there is no way you can be telling me Barbieri says cooperative learning works best. So now I use cooperative learning. You just read it this week. So you can't point to Barbieri as having an impact because you haven't done anything. You just learned it. And that I think is a little challenging to get across because somebody wrote back and said, you're telling me I'm lying about what I do. No, I'm just telling you, if I just read that Vivek pronounces his name the way he does, but I've been calling him, then I'm not going to say, yeah, all this time I've been calling him Vivek because he said that's how he pronounces it. Well, I just learned that. So I can't retroactively apply it. And those were that was the challenging thing this week to get across is I want to hear about who you used to, who did you read in 5270? What was that guy's name? Gergen or whatever his name is, Gergen helped me write my lessons more explicitly. Okay. Eaton did not, because you just read Eaton. So Eaton hadn't helped you yet. Now, some of you did rightly say, I plan to follow Eaton's guidance. Absolutely. But is that making sense? I don't know who, if any of y'all did that, but that was really noticeable. So much so that I copied a comment that says you are citing sources you just read this week. There's no way you've applied it yet because you just learned it. So those were the two big things, is just the line spacing, indentation. People don't indent their first line in their paragraph. And retroactively applying research. But I've also said to some of my friends at the university, the writing is so much better. I mean, y'all are, you know, the UO people has done some curriculum development, that we've got new leadership, and they came in and said, you know, we need to put more rigor into these courses. And so the writing, the synthesis from students is much better. Like, y'all are really learning and applying and considering more than what was in years past. But the APA is still jacked up. Easy thing to fix. Easy thing to, I mean, if you can't write, and there are a couple students, I'm like, I'm not sure, I'm not, you know, I'm a little worried they're not taking in what they should be. But APA formatting, I mean, you know that from your kids, you know, sometimes some of the concepts you teach your students are like, this is not a big deal. And that's APA formatting. It feels like it is because it feels arbitrary. Like, why would I put a comma here? Well, there's a rule. And that's the thing about APA. There's a rule for everything, literally everything. When do you use numbers? When do you use bullets? When do you use a comma? When do you use a semicolon? When do you... And there's a rule for everything, and you can't assume you know the rule. I have been saying for 5 years, because in APA 6th, there was no conclusion heading. You just concluded. So I've been telling students for 5 years, there's no conclusion heading, and it's okay. It's not a killer. But yeah, there actually is a conclusion heading. Oops. So can't assume you know all the rules. Shamso, welcome. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, you are. Thank you, Dr. Jennifer. Hi, everybody.
Okay. Welcome. Where are you calling from?
I'm currently in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. It's summer vacation, so I don't have like a quiet place because my kids are everywhere during this time. So that's why
Yeah.
my
Okay.
camera is off.
So it's so you've got that nice, cool winter weather like we have in southern Alabama, right?
Yeah, but it's not a winter to be honest. Like the past 2 years, we didn't even get like any breeze of air, but we've been, experiencing a sun and rain during summer or spring, which was weird. So yeah, the weather in Jeddah is unexceptional, and it's just been, I don't know if it's the climate change or whatsoever, but because I was born and raised here, but it's different from what we used to experience when I was a kid.
Well, you have no accent. It's interesting. I mean,
My mom
I
is
don't know.
American, so
Okay. All right. Well, I went to Iraq in 2004, and I flew through, landed in Kuwait, and then I had to take a special plane into Iraq. And so I landed in Kuwait, and so the next day I'm like, I'm gonna go for a run, run in Kuwait City. And and this is July. Well, it was my birthday. That's right. Yeah. So birthday, I'm going for a run in Kuwait City. I opened the room of the hotel, and I thought I'd been knocked over by a gale storm of heat. I mean, I just remember like whoosh, and now we're right on the ocean bay. I'm not sure what that is, but it was so hot. And it's so hot in Iraq, 118 degrees, and it's just like, this is so strange, but I got through it.
yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
yeah.
for us, it's the Riyadh. The Riyadh gives that, that like you feel like the sun is like, with a binocular, it's being like spotted on your head. You feel like your brain is boiling. That's the Riyadh atmosphere for us. But here in
Yes.
Jeddah, since we're in the sea, we get
Okay.
a lot of humidity, and yeah,
Even better. Yeah.
definitely.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're here.
So,
Okay. So I'm just talking now. So what? Anyone
so are we
have?
asking, or what are we
You
doing?
are
Because I
welcome
just
to
joined.
ask questions. Yeah, we were just talking a little bit about APA. I just showed some very
Yeah. Oh,
disorganized
thank you
instruction.
so much for the link you sent. I went through it, and I went through each and every part of the rules. So hopefully I'll be able to apply all of it in the upcoming assignments. Now for this week, we have the presentation that needs to be submitted. So I wanted to know is that, like, do we do like the presentation where we go through the everything, or it's just something just answering the 3 questions that are mentioned in the assignment?
Yeah, so what I'm looking for, so 2 weeks ago, you sent me your template. This week, I'm looking for you to kind of talk about your template. So looking at all those resources, and some of you have just really done a stellar job. And I just, that's another thing I look back on. I had no instruction on, I had to keep a portfolio also, but I had no instruction. So I just saved all my stuff as Unit 3, Assignment 1. I have no idea what any of it's for. I was just, so I really like the template because it makes you put the metadata that will be of value. So that template, you're just kind of just telling me about that template. What particular resources, is there anything you want to highlight? What did teaching these courses, I have learned much more about student-centered learning. I've learned more about ethics than I did in my doctorate. And I've learned about inquiry-based learning that I didn't know so much about. So those would, if I were talking about my portfolio, those would be the resources I would point to. You don't have to, here's Henderson and Jacobs, and they talk, but just, talking about, I read research that showed me kids need to explore, whatever it is. So you're just talking through that. And yeah, I think there are 3 guiding questions, but kind of the big one is, how have you grown? Because that's another thing about this assignment this week, saying, I always ask my kids, no, you don't. We don't always do anything. And so the purpose of units 2 and 4 is self-reflection, self-awareness. What do I actually do, and why do I do those things? And what impacted me, what influenced me to grow in these areas? You're all experienced. You're all, I'm sure, very good. That's why you're here. Okay. Good teachers continue learning, lifelong learners. But you should not be doing everything already. I already, or I've always, then why are you here? I mean, if you always have done everything wonderfully, you don't need to be getting a master's. So it's a way of slow down. Yeah, you're very good. You may be a master teacher, but you can always grow. So how have you grown through, who is it, Vivek, or no, Leroy, 10 classes in? He's changed, I hope. Even if
Definitely. Yes, I
yeah,
have.
yeah, yeah. And so it's forcing you to slow down, because hopefully you're going to prepare. Now, if you want to write slides and read from your slide, I don't care. I don't need a off the cuff. If you want to read to me, and that's what most people have done so far, it's fine. But I want to see you. And, if you do have slides to help guide you and you want to show them, that's fine. But you need to be the center of attention, because ScreenPal does have the ability to do both. And you can switch. You can have yourself a big screen, or you can have yourself a little screen. and you're just talking to me, just having a conversation with me. And it doesn't have, you don't have to use big words. You know what I mean? I just want to hear some highlights because I like listening, and I like the how, again, I like to hear how you've changed, and that you understand the relevance of research, because again, that is the difference between undergrad and grad. In undergrad, they say have manipulatives for math. Okay, here's the research. That's what you get in grad school. Oh, it's because of the multimodal learning and the cross connection. That's what you learn in the math. So that's what I want to hear. What have you learned? The why, not I have groups. I do better collaborative groups. Okay, why? What research do you use? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make
Yeah,
sense.
so it's just a conversation. It's
Yes,
nothing
absolutely.
formal. Okay. What else? Yeah, like I say, I'm always happy to schedule a one-on-one. I can generally make it work because I get up, early enough to go run, and so we can have an early meeting for me and a evening meeting for you, or vice versa, or during the day, because particularly right now I'm very flexible on time. So if you want to meet, and I can pull up your paper, and there may not be that much, it's just it's the line spacing gets me, the headings, I like, oh, it's just so obvious. The other thing, there are no contractions in APA. So, and if you think about it, it makes sense because this is an academic paper. It might be a reflection, yes, but it's still an academic paper. Now, in the portfolios, those are more of a conversation, but we don't have any more of those in this class. So it's all going to be academic voice, you know, so contractions are out, slang. The other thing, if you abbreviate, so say you have uh, International Baccalaureate, whatever, you spell it out and then you put IB. If you're not going to use the term International Baccalaureate again, you don't need to abbreviate. So it's little things like that. And the abbreviation thing is, the basic rule is if everybody knows what it is, ADHD, I don't need you to spell out ADHD. I don't need you to spell out IB. But I need you to spell out a program you use in your school, CARE. I don't know what that is. So those are some other little things that sort of catch my eye. But I don't want anybody being stressed about APA. I just want you to pay attention. And then, like I say, once you learn the rules, like for me, I other than the conclusion heading, I don't even have to look up rules anymore. And I'm talking about some obscure references I don't have to look up because I've looked them up and I've committed it, to memory. So, yeah, direct quotes. So if you, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to ask because I have to get going in a minute. With regards to the video that we have to do, and actually more generally, even with the assignments, with the word count and the length of the video, I'm always quite nervous about how much I can go over, and if I'll be penalized. And like you
So
said before, in the past we have been, sometimes we haven't, and I'm not always clear. So with the video, for example, if we went over by 20, 30 seconds, what
So
happens?
I put it in my unit 4 preview, and I think I typed it out that I think it's 8 to 10 minutes. I said no fewer than 7 because you need to tell me everything. No more than 12 because I don't have time to listen to that. And the requirement, like on the discussion forum, no more than 750 words, because not only does we don't have time to read it, but you have to prioritize what you want to say. And generally, the longer you go, now you're repeating. So, and I saw that in Unit 1 papers, yeah, your first one out, and there was a lot of, yeah, you've already said that. So that's why that word count. But do I need you to go word count 304? No, I don't pay attention to that. If you go over, I don't take off points, because now under I take off points because you haven't, I'm walking away like, I'm not sure, I don't know what I don't know. If you don't tell me everything, I may not know that you didn't tell me everything. So I said 7 to 12 minutes. The requirement is 8 to 10, but again, I don't generally take off. Now, I have taken off for people who, well, we used to have the old discussion forum every week, and they would put 1,000 words. I say, hey, 750 max. And then they did 932. I'm taking off points, but I'm not going to take off points on your video. Just talk to me. But that's part of the help of typing it out is, you're going to, it's kind of a script. And just be sure you speak up, Anyway, yeah, you need to go. Yeah. Vivek, so
Sorry,
impressed.
I need to get going, but thank you for your help today. I will be in touch probably, because I think I probably would like to go through a couple of things. But is it okay to send you an email, or do I need to contact you through the?
Yeah, I am going to tell you, I don't like Brightspace instant messages because I can't see. I can only see that one message, so it's like, what did I say? They're commenting about. So emails good, or ask the instructor, whatever is easiest for you.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you.
Have a great time,
and enjoy your
and we're
weekend.
jealous. We're jealous of you, Italy, Naples.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Oh, I forgot I was sharing. Okay. What else?
First of all, I would like to say thank you so much for these meetings, because
Oh,
I've
sure.
been a student in University of the People. I took my bachelor's, and now I'm doing my master's. So for me, this is a fresh perspective of interacting with an instructor. So technically, I've
So
been.
you said you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You got your bachelor's from Yale People?
Yeah, computer science.
Oh, well, what? Oh, well, good for you. Well, that's great. Oh, very exciting. Okay. Well, yeah, that's another thing. And I was saying that in the beginning is I have a lot of free time because I don't have kids or a spouse. I have a lot of cats, but, so especially in the summer, I pretty much am very flexible. But I'm glad the meeting was helpful. I enjoy having them because now I know what John looks like. So when she's writing, because, and I need to apologize for asking you those 2 questions right after another, but anyway, did great job, Leroy, great job, so now I can, and shame so I can hear you, and so it makes it better for me. But yeah, it just in real time, you can say, why did you count this wrong? And I can tell you, or why'd you count it, whatever. So glad y'all were here.
Thank you so much. I went through your channel on YouTube, and it was very informative. I
what was
this kind of interaction during bachelor's, but
yeah,
it's a good progress and it's a good development, and I'm sure that you're the only person who's doing this, because I almost finished most of my courses, and this is my first interaction like this. So thank you so much.
Yeah, hey, you're welcome. I'm glad you were able to dial in. What time is it there for you?
It's 5:45 p.m.
Oh, okay. So that's 17:45. So 8 hours. Okay. But Jean, is it almost 11 p.m.?
12 a.m.
Oh my gosh. Because it's so light outside. That's amazing. Oh no.
11:45 p.m.
Well, I just, so I might see if I can make this a little bit earlier next week. Or next time. I'll do it again in 2 weeks. But I'm just impressed with you all, so I'm going to stop yapping. Anything else you have for me, bring it up. If not, y'all are welcome to say goodbye or hang on and we can talk separately. It's whatever's good for you.
Thank you very much. I
You're
don't have
welcome.
much to say. This has been very
I
helpful.
think it's about the same time for you, isn't it? It's about 17:45, almost.
Yeah, it's actually 16:45 now.
Okay, so it's 8 hours, not 7 hours. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I say, I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad this is helpful. Anytime you want to meet, just let me know. I'm
Thank
here.
you very much. See
Okay,
you
you're
for
welcome.
Christmas.
For Christmas.
Cheers, bye.
What did you say for Christmas?